I'm Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different, and every breakup is different. Work with me, and you'll get professional help on your situation. Just click on the link in the description below, or go to my website, askcraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you about things were going great. So the reason that I decided to do this video for you guys today is that oftentimes we could be dating somebody and all of a sudden something happens, but you don't know what happens, right? Because things are going great one day, now maybe they've broken up with you, maybe they're not talking to you, maybe they're not replying to your text messages, or maybe those text messages are one-word short answers and you're like, what just happened here? Happens all the times, guys, and that is a situation I could definitely help you with. There are so many different variables that I see every day, and I'm looking for a lot of different things that you guys might not be prepared for or know to look for in that kind of situation. So when you're confused like that, feel free to just reach out and sign up for a coaching with me, and I will definitely help you figure out what's going on and what is going to be your best strategy for correcting it and trying to get things back on course. Because oftentimes it can get back on course if you figure out what the problem is. So I can help you figure that out, guys, and I look to see what is the root of the problem. And if I can figure out the root with you and we can explore things, especially like if we're in a Skype, I can get a good idea and then tell you how to proceed and what I would do in that situation. I have a really good email today from a 29-year-old woman who was dating a guy that was 40 years old. And she had no idea what happened. And I think it was funny because right when I started reading her email, I was like, I think I know what it is. Now I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to let it play out. You guys can sit there and think, you know, maybe try and figure it out. But what the situation was that she had met him while they were working on a project together. And so they were working closely together on this thing for months, and they started to really bond and connect. And as soon as she sent me the background of them spending time together, my gut just told me, And like I said, I'm not going to tell you what that is yet, but let's see what you guys think, okay? So I'm going to get into the email. She said, we had just started dating each other for 2 weeks, but become very emotionally close and open communicatively. That shouldn't even be a word. That's just too hard for me to say. We had open communication for a few months prior, while we were working on a project together, talking via text almost every day. He seemed very interested in me and getting to know me, asking a lot of questions about my life. We told each other a lot of personal things that I feel like you don't talk about with just anyone. So, definitely sounds like he was interested in her, right? Asking her lots of questions, or texting all the time. They got good communications, and she felt like things were going really well. So, let me go on. She said, it started as physical attraction when we locked eyes. He ended up asking around about me and contacted me a couple of days later via Facebook. Shortly after, we started working on the project together. I asked her what she knew about his family life, and she said, his mom is an angel who could do no wrong. He had very supportive parents of his career. He revealed to her that his dad had a long-time affair, but his parents are still together. So, that's pretty traumatic if your dad is having a long-time affair. And this is going to have an impact on somebody. And each person would be impacted differently by it. But, you know, one of the things that I was kind of thinking was, well, if he didn't really deal with that trauma, I wonder if he would act it out in an effort to try and understand it. So, in other words, I'm wondering, is he the kind of guy that would have an affair to try and understand what his dad did to his mom? People will do stuff like that. She said, he used to be pretty wild as a kid, and his parents didn't know what to do, and so they let him do whatever. That's not healthy. Well, we don't know what to do, so you just go ahead and do it. No. She said he was partying at a young age. Now he's very calm and spends his time working out, and his hobby is music, although he does struggle with anxiety. Well, I would say he does, and that is why he was doing the drinking, because a lot of people drink and do drugs to soothe their anxiety. You have to be able to soothe your anxiety in a healthy way, otherwise you wind up oftentimes doing substances like alcohol, weed, and, you know, other more, what's the word I'm looking for? Difficult substances, hard substances. You know what I mean. But, you know, it's quite normal to maybe smoke once in a while or drink once in a while, but when it becomes a problem, obviously, then you have to deal with it. This guy had it from a very young age. She said, I had been upfront from the beginning that I was interested in him romantically. He told me he needed time to get over his last relationship, which had lasted 5 years, which ended earlier in 2016, but he was also attracted to me. I was respectful of that. The woman had children that he was attached to. So, my gut told me from the beginning that there was another woman involved somewhere, and I was thinking, is he in a relationship? Does he have a girlfriend? What I think happened was that he was broken up with this other girl, the one he had been with for 5 years, and he probably didn't see himself getting back with her, started dating this other girl, really enjoyed her, really did like her, was really caring about her, and then you know what happened. That ex probably sensed it, a disturbance in the force that he was moving on, and she reeled him right back in, right? Right when he was about to find somebody else and try and start dating somebody else. She knew, and then she got him, and then she probably maybe trying to use a little guilt. Who knows what's going on there. But also, this kid's involved. I'm sure he's very attached to those kids. I've been in that situation. I know how difficult that can be. She says, a few months later, the project ended and things were getting more flirtatious between us. Late November, we spent a couple of weekends together just hanging out and talking, getting physically intimate. And he made it seem like we were going to start exploring a relationship. And I'm sure at that time, he was. He talked to his ex again a couple of weeks after, and it brought up a lot of emotions for him. He decided he needed to take a break and was feeling very confused over the situation. Because he really does like me, said he appreciated how we could talk about anything and that our values really lined up. So, I think he really genuinely does care for this woman. He probably still does. He's probably in a situation where he's feeling torn. You know, with this other woman, he was with her for 5 years. He was very attached to the children. So, it's like a family to him. Tough situation. This is how she said she handled the breakup. She said that she understood, wished him the best, and said that if he wanted to be, she wanted him to be happy, and that she was grateful for the short time they had together. She went no contact for about 2 to 3 weeks until he reached out to me to ask about my Christmas. See, he really did care about her, and he was wondering, you know, what's she doing? He used Christmas as an excuse to reach out, the indirect, direct approach. I asked him when the last time they talked was, and she said yesterday. But I reached out last week for clarity and decided to be honest. My therapist encouraged me to ask the questions I had because of how foggy the breakup was. He never told me I don't want you directly, because he did still want you. That's why. He still does care about you. I think he really did feel that connection with you. He's always maintained that he finds me very attractive, have all the qualities he's looking for, and that we have a connection. See, so what else could hold him back? If he really says those things and he means them, which I think he does, then what else would be holding him back but this other relationship that he hasn't moved on from? Alright, she said, I asked him if I had done anything that caused him to become uninterested. He said no, that everything I said and did made him interested in me. I asked her about the problems of the relationship, and she said, he said that his conflict is the promises he made within himself long ago are slow to fade, like he will kick himself for not taking a chance on me, which he has said several times that I'm a great catch, which has left me feeling torn and unable to move on. That would be very difficult. If you feel like you had a really good connection with somebody and you're probably just sitting there bargaining, thinking, oh my gosh, what do I have to do? Maybe if she leaves him alone, he'll come back to me. Maybe if he thinks about me, he'll come back. I'm sure you're going over all those different scenarios in your mind. She says, there's clearly something about his past relationship that is making it hard for him. He said she forbade him from working with me on the project from the beginning. So, she already knew this girl was a threat. Which was another reason they didn't get back together. Yeah, because she was controlling him. And he didn't like it. She said, I had no idea and we worked together anyway. Last week, he said he got the finality that he needed when they talked, and they weren't seeing each other. He also thanked me and said that he really appreciated me being open and honest with him about how I was feeling and how it helped clear the fog, and that he would get it sorted out. But I can still feel him keeping a distance. However, he has been very responsive whenever I text him. It's not frequent like it used to be. Yeah, he's stuck right now. He doesn't know what he needs. He doesn't know what he wants. He's conflicted with this other girl. She's probably controlling and manipulative, has a lot of anxiety, and as a result, she doesn't have any empathy for him. And so, meanwhile, you're more like a fantasy. He doesn't know you too well. And so, he's thinking about you, wondering what it would be like with you guys. So, he's going back and forth in his brain. She talked about her very difficult past. She said, both my parents abandoned me before age 1. That is awful. I am just so sorry that happened to you. I can't even imagine. Both your parents abandoned you before you're even 1 year old. This would be extremely traumatic for an infant, for a baby. That's terrible. She said, by age 3, my grandparents were my guardians. My upbringing was emotionally abusive. I think that's why this connection with this guy has been so difficult to let go of. I've never had anyone that acted this interested or be that kind. It felt so good. Yeah, obviously, when you have been neglected your entire life to the extent that you have, you know, it would be so difficult to lose somebody that it feels like you finally found somebody that's going to be there for you and take care of you and really cares about you. that would be a really tough situation. So I'm sorry you're going through that. She said, I finished up the project and I think about him all the time. He's going to be the one that got away from me and I'm feeling really heartbroken. They have something coming up with the project. They're going to have to interact soon. Listen, you can't look at it as the one that got away. You didn't do anything wrong. Right? You know, I feel like if you're thinking about the one that got away, it's because maybe you mistreated them or something happened, but things were good. You know, you can't look at it like he got away because you made a mistake. I don't think you did. Alright. Her question is, should I let this go or give it time? He's been giving me signals that he might come back, which he even apologized for. I've given him enough outs that I feel like he's being honest when he says he's feeling conflicted. Today I wrote, but didn't send a letter, saying that the door was closing and that I needed to move on completely. That what I really want right now is consistency and stability. I don't want to lose him though. I don't know if I should go back to no contact mindset, tell him that the door is closing, or if I should be patient and hope that he decides to reach out one day. Well, I think, you know, obviously I can see why it's so hard for you to move on here because you've been neglected your entire life. And it's like he represents all of those unmet needs for you. So, you know, I really don't think you should try and do anything dramatic like, oh, the door is closing and I need consistency and stability and all that. For this situation, what I think you need to do is just leave him alone and let him sort things out on his own. And if you guys are meant to reconnect, it will happen. But, you know, causing all kinds of drama and tension when, you know, it's just one of those things where he might not be ready. I mean, it seems like he's being upfront and honest with you, which I like. But, you know, saying all those things, the door's closing, this and that, that's not going to let things play out like they need to with this situation. So I would say, as difficult as it is to focus on your project, I know that's a big important thing that's going on in your life, and let him come back around when he's ready. And if you happen to be single, talk things out a little bit, you know, make sure that he's emotionally available to get into a relationship, because I think he is able to openly have that conversation with you. There are some situations where I would say do not try and have that conversation, but because he showed you an ability to openly communicate and act like an adult with you, I think you could safely have a conversation with him when he does come back around and say, look, you know, before this goes anywhere, what's going on with the other situation? You know, I don't want to go into this if you're not emotionally ready. So, that is what I would handle for this situation. Go out with them, have fun with them, and see how it goes. But if you want to get my help personally, go to my website, askcraig.net, and just sign up for the coaching option that works best for you. If you like the video and do appreciate the hard work I put into these videos every day, put a like on there so I know. And be sure to subscribe to the channel, because I do post videos Monday through Friday. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and I will talk with you soon.